So there we have it, general election here in the UK on the 4th of July. Put it down in your diaries because this is how it's going to go down, all right? Undoubtedly, it's going to be a Labour victory. It's going to happen. The Tories, they lost it. They had 14 years, and I can't believe they stayed in power for 14 years. People still voted for them for all that time, and look what it got us. Nowhere. That party is an utter shambles. It's no longer conservative. It hasn't been conservative and practiced conservative values for quite some time now. Even when Rishi Sunak announced it yesterday, I mean, what a shit show. He came out in the middle of the rain. He got absolutely drenched. He looked like a drowned rat. And then you had that stupid Steve Bray at the gates of Downing Street, blaring out things could only get better on the old stereo. Now, will it be a Labour landslide? I don't know. But if it's a hung parliament and it has to make a deal with the SNP, then, my goodness, this country will, if you think things are bad now, yeah, it'll get worse. Even though Hamza Useless has effectively gone, the SNP are probably the most toxic political party in the United Kingdom right now. And Keir Starmer's trying to mislead the British people. He's trying to mislead us that Labour have changed, when in fact they haven't. And I'll even go so far as to say that Labour are a threat to our national security. Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner, they both took the knee to Black Lives Matter, and their policies are just insane. In fact, I go so far as to say they are suicidal. And the Conservatives, well, the former Conservatives being what they are crap, but even at their worst, they will never be as bad as a Labour government. And I'm not telling people to vote for them. As for me, I'll be spoiling my vote. I don't trust Reform, or rather, I don't trust Richard Tice. Now, I know there's going to be a Reform Party announcement this morning at 11 o'clock, but it won't be what people want to hear. They want to hear that Nigel Farage returns in some form of leadership role. But I doubt that'll happen. If it does, I'll eat my hat. And I know this is something that some of you don't want to hear, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The Reform Party, they won't even make a dent in this general election. Nobody will notice. They did absolutely nothing. They were rubbish during the recent local elections. And they haven't got a hope in hell of wiping out the Tories. People still vote for the status quo, the Uni Party, the Tories and the Labour Party. It'll always be them, sadly. Now, I know there are plenty of you in the comment section and in my YouTube poll saying they will vote Reform. But let's face it, what's the point? I mean, even when they've stood against the Liberal Democrats have won. The Reform Party have absolutely no hope in hell of doing anything politically unless Nigel Farage takes over. And that's the truth, like it or lump it. But the one party to keep an eye on, and the one party that will be making waves and taking seats, I believe, at this year's general election, is George Galloway's Workers' Party of Britain. That party did very well at the local elections, and this is the party who will take away the Islamic vote from Labour. And that is because Sir Keir Starmer and Labour initially refused to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. And the core voters for the Workers' Party of Britain are a certain demographic who act as one. And when it comes to hating Israel, then there's only one politician in Britain for them, and that's George Galloway. So I predict they will take seats in mainly Islamic neighbourhoods. So what are we going to get with the Labour government? Well, if you think Rishi Sunak and the Tories were completely ineffective when it comes to stopping the boats, the illegal migrants crossing the channel in their thousands, well, Labour, they're going to open the door and invite them in. The Labour Party are full of woke socialists and Marxists, champagne socialists, or wine bar activists, and they will need money for woke vanity projects. And when they've drained the coffers, taxpayers' money, to pay for all that, they'll borrow some more. And then there's the EU. Yeah, Labour will get us back in some way or another. I wouldn't put it past them to call for a so-called people's vote, where the crying Remainers who lost the 2016 referendum will somehow miraculously get their own way, and we'll be back under the boot of the unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. And if you're Israeli, if you're Jewish, then I suggest you leave, because the Labour Party won't make this country any safer for you. because that lot who've been rampaging through London, the Free Plasticine pro-Hamas protesters, you see, the Labour Party desperately need their vote, so they will side with them. So there we go, that's my synopsis, that's my prediction for the next 4 or so years under a Labour government. Mass censorship, mass immigration, and mass tax hikes to pay for it all. And on top of that, we'll be back in the EU. Mark my words. And that's me telling you, I told you so. And that's that. I'm past 49. Thanks for listening, and until the next time, Roger Trout.